Yesterday I was stoked to get the I moved up on my bench press yesterday to doing 65-pound dumbbells from 60 pounds. I thought it was going to be hard. I didn't think I was going to be able to do the 3 sets of 10 right off the bat, but I did. So I get to move up again next week. Always moving up. I think it's always a good idea to take those baby steps when trying to make gains. You don't want to just jump into something that is just too much. You can't. You don't want to get ahead of yourself and cause an injury. There's no reason to do it. I feel like there's always this push from certain elements in the fitness industry. It's like, oh, you got to have those perfect abs in 30 days. We're going to get you there. We're going to have this new sleek body within 30 days and we're going to get you there. But no one in those ads did it in 30 days. And all that's asking for is an injury. I'm going to grab the 30 pounds. Just warming up, making sure everything's going to be able to do its job. That's the thing I do like about like Twitch and YouTube and stuff, where you can see, people that are trying to maintain good fitness at what their lives look like on a regular basis, what working out looks like on a regular basis. It's people that shoot the promos and stuff or commercials for different things. They're in peak shape for themselves when they do those. And it's not always what they look like on the regular. Bodybuilders aren't regularly having veins pop out. All right. Done with done with allergies. Lots of fun. Like I said, I'm definitely sore from Monday's squats. Gonna have to really dig deep on this one. I was reading this article this morning where I'm not gonna get into all of it, but you know, company is trying, or certain people are trying to blame a project's flop on one of the youngest people involved, just running their mouths and going on social media and expressing their ideas. And I don't think that's fair. And it sucks because I think this young person's career could take a real derailment over this. And I think there's so many more factors. And it's unfortunate that we like scapegoat people and we just can't be honest about why something isn't successful. Like there's plenty of blame to go around, but you want to put it on the youngest person involved, the least amount of experience in dealing with the world. A little unfortunate. It's gonna be fun. The fun part is gonna be come Saturday when my kids are doing soccer and I'm gonna have to run around in pain, looking ridiculous on the field, having to explain why I can't run properly. The nice part is though, it's probably halfway through the first game. I'll be okay. As long as they don't stop. What I tend to realize is once I tell my body, like, hey man, this is what we're doing, knuckle down, get with the program, it tends to do that. And it'll tell me, like, hey man, later on, we're gonna have a talk. You're not gonna get to move for a while. But I found the last thing you want to do after leg day is not stay mobile. Everything just tightens up and then you're in trouble. I always like to give props to guys that clearly don't skip leg day. I feel like it's one of those muscle groups that like you don't really notice and you don't always get props for in public. Like I think guys know that when they have like big shoulders, they have big biceps, or big forearms, or big chest. They're like that's like what gets noticed. I don't think a lot of people spend time looking at people's calves and quads and stuff. So as a public service, as awkward as it can be, I like to notice that and give dudes props. Like, hey man, you're clearly not skipping leg day. Way to go, dude. Especially when they're thinner and have like giant quads and calves, because it's easy to like make a muscle look big, or you know, when you're overweight. But when you see like a guy that's like slimmed down and he's walking around with massive calves, it's like, geez, dude, you are in a league of your own. Sometimes it's awkward to comment on a guy's legs, but I think a lot of guys that are pushing for that really do appreciate it. Don't ground them. All right, this is the 65 pounds. Have some fun with it. 65 pounds is 29.48 kilograms. Let's do this. Ooh. That was fun. Oh. I catch my breath. I think I don't know what I think. That was rough. Good amount of weight though. 65-pound dumbbells, 130 pounds plus a 20-pound vest, 150 pounds. Good about that. Ooh. Keep going. I did want to quit around the 8th rep though, just to be very clear. Oh. 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 Hey, what's up, Spooky Robot? Oh. Oh, that was hard. How you doing this morning? Oh, how am I doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's the rocking out the 65-pound dumbbells. That looked tough. Yeah, well, it was definitely tough for me. Oh. It was definitely tough for me. It's total of 150 pounds. I know there are guys that eat that 150 pounds for breakfast, but I'm not one of those guys, so that was definitely tough. Oh, whew. Well, I made it the full 10 reps. I, again, really wanted to stop at 8. Probably more than I weigh. Well, that's one thing I want to be able to do as my kids get older, as long as I can, is be able to carry both of them. Like if something happens, I want to know that I can just pick up my kids and run. And if I keep pushing it, you know, that'll stay that way. So right now my kids are considerably lighter than the 65-pound dumbbells, so it's doable. I can pick them up and run. I would just hate to be in an emergency situation and not be able to effectively get my kids out. There's always that like question people will ask, well, if there's a fire, like, who are you gonna save? I'm like, well, I will just train so there's not a situation where I can't pick them up and get them both out. Omo Iwakura. Hi. Hi, man. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Omo Wakuru? Omo Wakaru. I think sometimes the hard part about like people's screen names on Twitch is I don't know always what the language is, so I don't know where to put any sort of accents or sounds. So my apologies if I butchered your name there. All right, let's do this again. I'm gonna have to be smart though, because I'm like pushing up on the should I be able to? I better. I'm pushing up on the gonna hurt myself if I lose form. That's the important part about form when you're dealing with heavy weights. You just can't sacrifice it. All right, that's it. 7. All right, room for improvement. We're gonna go down to 50 pounds now. Doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. This is gonna sound a little silly, but it wasn't till this last weekend I realized like how much encouragement matters. like, especially with the kids on the soccer field, watching the difference between kids that had parents actively engaged with cheering them on and getting up close and giving them, pointers, but being encouraging. Such a big difference between the ones that just had parents sitting on the sideline. And it sounds silly. Like, I'm almost 40 years old. I should probably have known how important encouragement was. But like, for me personally, I've always been like self-motivating, and because of that, like, didn't even realize how much I do enjoy other people's encouragement myself. So it was good to see. Doing great, sweetie. Thank you so much. With my kids, it's like, it was fun to see. It's fun to see my kids do well while encouraging them. And then it was fun to turn around and encourage the kids, even the kids that weren't on the same team as my kid, like, to give them encouragement so they would do well. This is fun. It's fun to see kids like smiling. I don't know if I'm gonna be the best like dad, sports dad, because like, I enjoy seeing the other kids do well too. I enjoy everybody being happy and having fun. I think it would be hard for me to watch some other team just get dominated by my kids and everybody like not having fun and people being upset. I think it'd be really hard not to go over and say something like encouraging and be like, "Hey, you guys can do this. Like, you're doing great. Just rally." Even the jerk kids or kids that seem like they're jerky, I like to try and say something positive to them and something that makes them feel good, because I assume that that they're being that way because they're not getting that from home, or they feel bad. Maybe they are getting it at home, but when they go to school or something, they feel bad about who they are or what they do. So I try to find something positive to say to the kids around. And it's hard, especially when you know a kid is being a jerk to your kid. All you want to do is like make that kid regret every moment, but it doesn't help. And you reaching out and encouraging them and making them feel better about themselves. I'm being like, "Oh wow, like, so and so's dad was saying nice things to me. I would think that will go further to next time they go to pick on my kid. They'll be like, oh man, I really don't want their dad to know that I'm a jerk. So I'm gonna do better." That's where your wife says, "Yeah, I guess you just need to be positive without sounding like an ass." Yeah. Yes, that's tricky. And it's tricky too, because some parents, I think, want their kids to feel tough love. I'm not against tough love, but they kind of want their kids to be accumulated in success. And I don't want to step on other parents' toes, but I also don't want to see some kid sad. It doesn't need to be. Plus, it's fun. It is a lot of fun to watch a kid go from being sad to not so sad to smiling just because you said something to them. And it doesn't have to just be kids. You can do it with older people. One of my favorite things I started doing lately is complimenting much older women on their hair. Because you can see that they spent a lot of money on it, especially if it's like a nice dye job, a nice cut. And I think they probably don't get a lot of people randomly telling them how nice their hair looks. So I started doing it a few months ago, and it's a lot of fun. They like really appreciate it. You just sound like, wow, like your hair looks amazing. I love the color. And they'll be like, oh, thank you. And it's a lot of fun. And just making sure that you do it in a way that doesn't sound like you're hitting on them or being a creepy guy. Which is, you know, like, oh, I think that looks really nice. I'm like, oh, that's nice. It's fun to do. Thank you, spooky robot. All right, let's do this again. And this is just the 50 pounds. So 50 pounds is 27.67 kilograms. The other thing I like to do is compliment dog owners on the shape of their dog's coats. Like, just like, wow, like your dog's coat looks so healthy. It takes a lot of work. Especially because there's like a couple people around here that have like huskies or dogs with like thicker coats. And we had a husky when I was a kid. And it takes so much brushing and so much work. Our German Shepherd, to make his coat look good, took a lot of work. So it's fun is to tell dog owners that their pet's coat looks really nice. Again, don't sound like Cruella de Vil when you do it. He says, oh, yeah, but that takes ages. Yes. I know our dog, you'd have like, you go out there with always with like a grocery bag, and you were always filling up that grocery bag full of fur. And sometimes you would take two, especially as summer got closer. Just fill that sucker up with hair. Alright, that was 6. Tell you, like, squatting is not the place to lose form, especially the knees. The second I feel my knees start to waver a little bit, so I'm like, all right, let's cut it. So you can just turn that knee a little bit the wrong way, and it's over. So a little bit of an angle, and forget about it. And knee injuries suck. I've never like done a significant damage to my knee, but I've tweaked it a few times. And it doesn't take much. I've been like just moving weights, like, and I was just moving a weight to the side of me one time and turned my knee while doing it, just not thinking about it. And that put my knee down for over a month. I couldn't work out with it. And if you hurt yourself to where you can't do leg day, it's a double pain, because not only are you going to deal with the pain of recovering, when you get back, missed leg days are the most unforgiving of workouts. And because I'm a dad, when I get like twice as bad, because whenever my legs are bad, that's when my kids decide to jump on them. Yesterday, they never would have touched my legs. Today, they won't touch my legs. But Friday and Saturday, when my legs hurt, that's when they're gonna, for whatever reason, instinctively jump on them. Like they know where the pain is. Quick yoga says, ouch, sounds painful. Yes. All right, we're gonna do 40 pounds, 18.14 kilograms. At 7 minutes. 7 minutes. I don't know if you can hear the madhouse behind me. The kids are having fun with my wife. I gotta go in there and take over so she can get ready for work and cook breakfast. I'm gonna make a nice hearty bowl of oatmeal for the kids. I'm gonna do apples and bananas. I like to cook down the apples a little bit and then add it to the oatmeal. Nothing too fancy though. Sounds nice. It is. I like to do bigger breakfasts for my kids. I just hate the idea of them being in school and hungry. And oatmeal's a good choice today because one of my kids lost their first tooth last night. That was cool. They like didn't complain at all. My wife like easily took it out. I guess they've been working it loose. I mean, I knew they were working loose. I didn't realize how loose it was. And just popped right out. No tears, nothing. The only thing that concerns me is my youngest child was very excited about loose teeth now. And they were checking their teeth for loose teeth and like pulling on their teeth. And I'd be like, listen, don't do that. You're not old enough. Leave your teeth alone. You don't. It's gonna be even worse when they find out that there's money involved in losing teeth. Yes, the tooth fairy did visit. Yes. Yes, they're very excited about the tooth fairy. They're still very excited about that and like Santa. But I have a feeling that this may be one of the last years for that because they really liked Loki at Disneyland. And then we were watching a movie with Loki and they're like, oh, I met Loki. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And like, yeah, I really like Loki. And like, but was that the real Loki? And I was like, oh man, was it really a guy dressed up as Loki? Looked a lot like Loki. I think the jig will be up soon on Santa. Oh, it was 8. Little white lies keep the magic going. Yeah. Well, that's why it was important for me to get the kids to Disneyland early. Like, because I went to Disneyland the first time, I was like 4 or 5. And then you're just bathed in the magic and the imagination of it all. And then when you're older, even, when I was like 7, we went back and again, you can remember the magic of those feelings and being, just completely given over to it. And I think those are good feelings, before you get into being super skeptical. But remembering what it was like to be there as a kid makes it nicer. Have you ever made it to Disneyland? Sad Spooky Robot? All right, I got one more set and then I gotta bounce. All right, that is it for today. I'm gonna go be dad and make breakfast and get everyone ready for the day. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate seeing you, Sad Spooky Robot. Hope you have a good day.